Alright, hi year 11, this is Mr. Lim here, and this is our second video on hydrocarbons about how to name the main chain of the hydrocarbon. Alright, so we're going to define and identify the main chain of organic substances, list the prefixes, and then state the suffix for alkanes. Okay, so what have we got? Here we go. Hydrocarbons are named systematically, alright, according to these IUPAC rules that we talked about before. To allow easier communication. That's the important thing. So when we start to name hydrocarbons and organic substances, we first have to identify the main chain of the substance, which is the longest continuous chain, right? The longest continuous chain of carbons that holds all of the functional groups. Okay, so in this case, the functional groups that we're going to be looking for are halogens and double and triple bonds. Okay, that'll be the main functional groups that we'll deal with in year 11, and then there's a ton of functional groups in year 12 that we'll also have to deal with. All right, so for example, if I have this, oops, that's not what I want. If I have this substance here, right, so I'm not going to draw all the hydrogens in, right, but you can imagine that they're sticking out here, 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 so on and so forth. Okay, so the longest main chain here is this one here. That's 6, nice and easy because there are no other carbons there. All right, but let's say here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, and then 1 here. Okay, so there are two possible chains here. There's this chain here. There's this chain here. In fact, there's a couple of possible chains here. There's this chain here, all right, where we get to 2 end carbons. Right. However, which one is the longest carbon chain? It's the yellow circled one with 7. All right. Green has 6. Red has 4. Okay. Let's do one more. Let's do it. Oops. No, don't do that. Don't move that. Okay. So let's go back and do one more. Okay. So here we have to look at which one is the longest carbon chain. All right. So is it this one? Is it this one here? Or is it this one here? Okay, so sometimes the longest chain isn't just going to be the one that is either fully horizontal or fully vertical, something like that. Okay, so in this case, it's the green line here, which is the main chain, which is 6 long. All right, okay, so that is how to identify the longest continuous chain that holds all of the functional groups. Okay, so looking here, if we go back a bit and we draw something special onto this one here, the alcohol functional group, okay, that means the longest continuous chain with that particular functional group is this, like, because it has to include this carbon here, right, there's only 2 possible chains. It's only this one and this one here, and if I did what used to be the longest chain here, this red chain would not hold all of the functional groups, okay, because it wouldn't have the carbon over here with the alcohol group in it. Okay, so in that case, then the green chain, the 5 chain, would be the longest continuous chain. Right? So next, the length of the chain is represented by the following prefixes, which means it's like, the word before the word, or the first component part of the word, which can be used for both main chain and side chain groups, which we'll cover next lesson in side chains. All right, so we have meth, eth, prop, bute, pent, hex, hept, oct, non, dec. Right? So we're going to have to memorize those 10, and so we're going to be seeing that a lot over the next couple of videos, right? But those are the ones there, right? And so then we can have a look at the first homologous series, which is alkanes, which have a suffix of ane, right? So this one here at the top is going to be a hex. Oops, that's not what I want. Hexane. Okay, so hex because it has 6, ane because it is all single bonds. All right, the next one here is a heptane because it follows the yellow line with 7. All right, and the next one here is a hexane again because it has 6 in its main chain, right, and they're all single bonded. All right, so what we've done is we've combined the prefix hex with 6 and the suffix ane for the alkanes, and then given them that one. All right, actually, wait, first of all, this one here can't be hexane, right, because it's not got all the functional groups. This is actually going to be a pentane because it's going to follow the 5 chain there, right, because the 6 chain there doesn't have the last functional group. Okay, so just got to watch out that you're picking out the main chain with the all of the functional groups there. Okay, that one there is not actually called pentane, but at least the main chain is 5 long, and it's a pent of an ane of some sort. All right, okay, so that's the idea, all right, and we're just going to look for main chains for now, and then we'll go move on to side chains. Adios.